So I'm Gaurav. I'm cloud architect at Hotstar. I manage the infrastructure, security, monitoring, and quick show of hands. How many of you were actually watching India-New Zealand game on Hotstar? Wow, thank you. So this graph is the actual concurrency pattern, the traffic pattern, and the people who are watching, you are part of this graph. So what we can see here is, this is the toss. This is the entire cricket journey. So you'll be able to relate to what it is. This is the toss. This was like a 3 p.m. match since it was happening in UK, and the toss used to happen around 2:30. So the first spike you see, the small one, is toss, and usually like 3-4 million people come at that time, and then there is a half an hour break, and the match used to start at 3. The first spike over here you are saying is the start of the game. That particular match, it was spread across 2 days because it was rain affected. That is why you see day 1 and day 2. Look at how quickly the traffic is growing, and the other key thing to notice here is, it is not like one of the event wherein you are about 10 million, but if you look at the graph, most of the time it is about 10 million. So that shows you how resilient the platform is, how stable the infrastructure is. And the dips that you see here, these are, if you are a IPL follower, these are strategic timeout, and this is a one-day international, so these are drinks break that often happen at the 16th over and the 32nd over. And this is the graph of New Zealand batting, and they were able to go up to 13.9 million during their inning. Then what happened is, unfortunately it started raining, and then there is a sudden dip. This is the most interesting part of that day, and this is like one of the events we have never seen before. When the rain started happening, there was a dip from 13.9 to 5 million. There was nothing on the screen, right? It was just raining. They were showing some highlights. There was no cricket being played. Still 5 million people were glued to their screen waiting for rain to stop and the match to begin. And this happened not for 2 or 5 minutes. This happened for 3-4 hours. So this event was around 6:30 in the evening, and the match was called off around 10. So for 3-4 hours, like 4-5 million people stuck on their screen waiting for match to start. And this is like first time we have seen in Hotstar, like people were like so eager to watch that match and India to win. On day 2, what happened is, New Zealand still had like 3-4 overs left. So the first spike that you see over here is when they came to bat the remaining 4 overs. Then they quickly went inside, India padded up and came to start their inning. This is the most critical part for us. The sudden spike that you are seeing, platform was around maybe 1.52 million. It went almost close to 15 million. And then there is a sudden drop. This is very, you can say, harmful for backend services because of the spiky nature of the traffic. All your services needs to like be scaled up well in advance. You cannot rely on auto scaling because it's slow in nature, and this entire scale up is almost like 1 million per minute. So that's the growth rate. Yeah, that's the growth rate that we are looking at. And then there were regular, like this is India batting, and then there were regular fall off wickets. So the traffic didn't grow that much, but suddenly then Dhoni came on to bat, and he was playing really well, and all of us were thinking, okay, now we'll win the match. That's when marketing team and everyone like started sending push notifications to bring on more users, and the spike that you see here is almost like 1.1 million users being added to the platform per minute. So within a span of 10 minutes, we almost went from 13 million to 25 million. So that is the scale that we are talking about. And unfortunately, at this point, Dhoni got out. And so 2 interesting things, not interesting I'll say, but that is the time when Hotstar made a global record. But at the same time, your country is losing, so you cannot really go out and celebrate that you have made a world record. So we have to manage those mixed feelings as well. The drop from 25 to here is what kills most of the platform. If you are an Android or iOS developer, you can quickly relate to this. What happens is when you are watching a video, you are just requesting a playback file. You're just watching the cricket match. You're not doing much. There will be a bunch of API calls, but not that much. Suddenly, when you shift from video to home page, now you're making home page calls like your masthead, your continue watching tray. Then there is personalized content. What you have like watched previously, based on that, it will recommend you new content. So all these are API calls. What happens is when the match is being played, those API calls are not made because you are just requesting the video playback file and few APIs related to heartbeat, concurrency, stuff like that. So suddenly all 25 million users, if they exit the app by clicking home button, then it is okay. If they click a back button, all this 25 million users are going to come to home page. And at that moment, your home page needs to handle that load. Yeah. And that's something that you have to like prepare in advance because you don't have time. You don't know when the traffic will drop, what will the peak will be. So there is a sudden hit and the beating that your backend infrastructure and the applications take.